Atlanta. This young man that grew up outside of Philadelphia, went up to school in Boston, and now will be headed to learn how to speak with a slight Southern drawl.
I think, Boo, for Arthur Blank, turn the page. It's a new era now of Atlanta Falcon football with Matt Ryan at the helm. You're talking about a kid who carried a football team that did not have great receivers, a great offensive line, or great running backs. Matt Ryan, you talk about his size, 6'4" and 3/4, about 220.
With the 6th pick in the 2011 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Julio Jones, wide receiver, Alabama.
So Julio Jones coming to the stage. This breaks the hearts of some Rams fans that hope that he possibly could drop to them down all the way to 14. It also leaves Blaine Gabbert up for grabs for the 49ers, who are now on the clock, as we all create some headspace for those developments. Tell me about Julio Jones, Mike.
Andy White, Tony Gonzalez, Matt Ryan is ecstatic right now. What a trade they pulled off.
Michael Turner, Julio Jones, Roddy White, Tony Gonzalez, Matt Ryan. That's not a bad nucleus to move forward. We're going to take a break. When we come back.
With the first pick of the 5th round, number 137 overall, the Atlanta Falcons select Grady Jarrett, the defensive tackle from Clemson. Rise up, rise up!
All right, there you have it, Grady Jarrett, as we discussed before, big favorite of Dabo Swinney, and he would argue, too, that guy causes the kind of confusion up front that allows some of the other playmakers on that defense to make hay.
Grady Jarrett needs to play in a penetrating scheme, but when he does it, he is dynamic. He is short, but plays with great leverage, plays with great balance, and look at him chase from that nose position. He will not give a center a break at all. Now,
What's good? How y'all doing this evening? It's your boy Don here with my co-host King. What's good, man?
What's good, Don? Today's a great day. We're going to talk about your favorite quarterback in the draft, Don.
Man, do not start with me with this mess, man. Like, look, man, I done took like 5 Excedrins already, man. Everybody in the Falcon fan base, this is what y'all want. This is what y'all asking for. Hey, come holler at us.
Yeah, we talking Justin Fields the whole time. Don's favorite quarterback.
This is not my favorite quarterback in Ohio State. Definitely not my school. I'm a Michigan fan, so anyway, let's go ahead and welcome our guest, our special guest for the evening, Mark Rogers from Mark Rogers TV. Let everybody know who you are and where they can find you. If they don't know now, like that's crazy because like you one of the best like college podcasters out there right now, man.
I appreciate that, man, and I appreciate you guys tracking me down and inviting me on to talk Justin Fields in the NFL draft. This is a good time. I'm always ready to talk some football. Anybody can look me up at Mark Rogers TV, just Mark Rogers TV on YouTube. And I've got a main channel and I've got 12 team-specific channels. So you can lock in on your favorite team. And I'm producing content, going live every day.
I appreciate you coming on, man.
Absolutely. It looks like I'm going to have to break up a fight here.
Man, no, not between us. Oh, me and my co-host, we ain't got no smoke. He just joking around. It's me and the fan base, if you know what I'm talking about. But we'll get into that in a minute, though. But hey, if y'all new to the channel, y'all already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this content out with Atlanta Sports Fanatics, and hit us up in the comment section. As always, come holler. at your hometown sports podcast. Before we do that, we got to pay some bills. Go ahead, take it away, King.
All right. Support for Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for the family jewels. They obsess over the technology developed to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. I joined the movement for all your below the waist grooming needs. So, Don, we've been using Manscaped for a while, man. How you liking it so far?
Man, it is amazing. Like, I'm telling you, like, there's days I don't need to use it, but I'll be like, man, do I really need to use it? So, it's sanitary, you know, like it keeps you clean and you groom yourself. Like, man, you got to groom yourself. Like, that's part of human nature. You know, you just grow wild bushes, you know, everywhere. Like, that's trust and believe you're not gonna pick up anybody. So just saying.
Yeah. So y'all know my favorite thing is the ball deodorant, and also the Lawnmower 3.0 has redesigned the electric trimmer. The Manscaped engineer team spent 18 months perfecting the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created, the Lawnmower 3.0. Yo, the thing is amazing. Their third generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to the advanced skin-safe technology pioneered by Manscaped. So don't go be telling people, the king said I ain't gonna cut myself. It says reduce, people. You still got to read the directions and use it properly. Don't be using it wrong and then trying to blame the company and trying to blame King and Forever I Love Atlanta Sports. Don't do that. When I tell you this is premium,
like, it's certain angles you got to cut yourself. You go the wrong angle, you cutting skin.
Yeah, it is a clipper, like electric clipper at that.
You can still cut yourself with kindergarten scissors, by the way. Just letting you guys know that.
When I tell you this is premium, I mean premium, people. The battery will last up to 90 minutes. So you can take as long as you want to shave. And you can do it in the shower because it's waterproof. Excuse me. One of the coolest features is the LED light, which illuminates the grooming areas for the closer and more precise trimming. There's also an upgrade to 7,000 RPM motor with a quiet stroke technology. 7,000 RPM motor, and you nick yourself, it ain't gonna be pretty. Let's not forget about the charging stand that it comes with, so you can always keep it charged. If you listen to me speak right now, I want you to experience this firsthand for yourself. Trim that junk of yours, get 20% off and free shipping with the code FILASP2020 at manscaped.com.
All right. Once again, the code is FILASP2021. All right. Use that code. You get 20% off on the whole entire purchase, and you get free shipping. You cannot beat that. I did order me a nose clipper, a nose trimmer, and that's coming soon. And I can't wait because, like I said, I got a Chandler Fords in my nose, so I got to get that taken care of. So. All right, on to the show now. So let's talk about Justin Fields. All right, former Bulldog, former Buckeye. So go ahead. What's his strengths and what his weaknesses, King?
Natural playmaker, of course. He's one of those guys that can make plays naturally. Also, effortless throws. To me, when he throws the ball, it looks like Aaron Rodgers. Not comparing him to Aaron Rodgers, people, but the way he throws the ball. You know how Aaron Rodgers looks like he's just flicking his wrist and the ball goes 60 yards? That's how it looks when Justin Fields throws the ball. Not saying he is Aaron Rodgers. He's a gunslinger. Another Green Bay guy like Brett Favre, which it can be a weakness at sometimes when you just throwing the ball all over the yard and being reckless with it. And he can run the ball. Really good at running the ball. He's not like a Lamar Jackson. He's more of a let me get out the pocket, get 10, 15, but if I break it, I can break it. So he's not going to be trying to run the ball. He's more of a thrower, but can get out the pocket. Weaknesses. The biggest one of them all, reading defenses.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to read NFL defense. And when you can't read an NFL defense, they're going to eat you apart. That's a big problem with a lot of Ohio State quarterbacks coming out when they get to the NFL. Just reading defenses is tough for them. That goes to the decision making. When you can't read the defense, you don't know what the coverages is, you're going to make bad passes. Forcing plays, trying to get them into that tight windows, and ball placement. Being able to put the ball in the right spots in those tight windows when you need to be.
Whew. No comment on that. But look out there. I'm gonna say he's from Ohio State, 6'3", 228 pounds. His 40-yard dash right now is unofficial, 4.5. So let's talk about the scheme fit. The scheme fit that he'll fit best in is a hybrid spread West Coast offense with quarterback power run dynamics. So the only team right now that's successful at doing that in the NFL is the Baltimore Ravens. And they're getting rid of Greg Roman, so we don't even know who their OC is going to be next year. I don't know if there was news broke that they hired them a new OC. So I gotta look at that. But the comparison that some people have him as is Dak Prescott. What's your thoughts on Justin Fields, Mark?
You bring up Aaron Rodgers, man. That's my guy. That's my guy.
Yes.
I don't think anybody spins it like Aaron Rodgers. Maybe Pat Mahomes does now, but man, Aaron Rodgers. So I will tell you that I talked to a lot of Ohio State beat writers that are right on the sidelines, before COVID, obviously, on the sidelines watching this guy throw the ball. And just before him, they had seen Joe Burrow. They had seen Dwayne Haskins. Those were the two quarterbacks, obviously, in camp with J.P. Barrett before Justin Fields. And they said, you could hear a difference. You could hear a difference when he's throwing the football. I'm not going to elevate it to the effortlessness. You know how Aaron Rodgers just doesn't even look like he's putting any effort? Now, you can see Justin Fields is gearing up to deliver it, and he can rip it. It's like, Baker Mayfield basically twists like half his torso when he gets ready to rip it, and it looks pretty, but it takes him a lot of effort.
It takes a lot of,
and he can rip it. Now, Justin Fields, I would put somewhere between Aaron Rodgers and Baker Mayfield when it comes to the effort he's got to put forth to really rip a throw. But he can let her fly. There's no question about that. When you talk about decision making, the one game this season, the first game that I think hit everyone to basically be like, oh, is this guy ready for the next level? Is he as good as we thought he was Ohio State played a game against Indiana, and they led 35-7. And then Justin Fields got a little careless with the football, and Indiana made it a game. He still had a productive game. He still had a couple touchdowns, threw for 300 yards, but he made 3 bad mistakes in that game. The first one was he was going down the seam, and he was just focused on that receiver the whole time. And, just lasered in on him the entire time, let it go late. One of the, just a classic lock in on a receiver where the safety's just waiting and then just jumps the route, picks it off. The other two, and so that was more so the one that I was concerned about because that was reading coverages. The other two, he tried to be Superman. He basically was like, I got a guy on my back. I see somebody over here 25 yards away. I think I can make this throw. And he's not thinking about, I'm near the right sideline. I got to throw it across the field. Guys that seem like they're not in the play are going to have an angle. He just made stupid mistakes that I would think that those were could be coachable to say, when you're in that situation, don't do that. Versus reading the defense, some guys never quite get. There's even guys that have started in the NFL that are not great at reading defenses, and he may turn out to be one of those guys.
Yeah, and that's the thing I'm talking about. And David, come on, man. Look, you guys not giving this young man a fair shake because you already have your minds made up about this player. Look, I think Justin Fields is an incredible athlete and a good quarterback, but far as the Falcons, I've told you guys this. I just don't see it fitting. But I'm not going to take up that much time because y'all can look at the past episodes of what my takes are on Justin Fields. All right. Right now, we are scouting the guy. So, Mark, I agree with you on that. But like I've said before, if he goes to the right coach that can develop him, he will be fine. He will be fine. Now, if he go to a Sean Payton, hey, I think that'll be the best thing for him to do.
Don't wish that on us.
This situation. But I'm just saying, like, you got to think about it. All right, Denver. Let's say Denver. Okay, Denver needs a quarterback. Who's up there in Denver that's going to develop him? All right, who's the Redskins? Who's going to develop him with the Redskins? Like, you got to ask yourself these questions. Like, here in Atlanta, like, we don't run spread. Like, Arthur Smith does not run a spread offense. Like, it just won't fit. But if we take Justin Fields, hey, it is what it is. It's all about the player fitting the right scheme of what you're trying to do.
Can I ask you guys a question just about the Falcons and what they intend to do with Matt Ryan? So I love the start of your show, by the way, because I love those old school NFL draft clips. Those are awesome to watch. So Matt Ryan, we could make this another show, and I don't want to do that because you guys are running the show. But I would love to hear you guys go off on Matt Ryan, just in regards to the good points and the bad points in his career. And obviously, he should have a ring on his finger. But regardless, if they would have run the play clock in the second half. But anyway.
Thank you.
They didn't have to get conservative. There was all this talk about we don't run an offense like that. We don't get conservative, but you didn't have to be conservative. Just run the play clock down to 3 or 2. Anyway, so what do you think they're going to do with Matt Ryan? Like, when is the next quarterback going to have to be ready?
Here's the thing. Arthur Blank had a conference today. He said that he don't think Matt Ryan and Julio is not going anywhere this season. That doesn't mean that we're not drafting a quarterback. But here's the thing, and people gotta understand this: as a owner and as a GM, as a head coach, your job before the draft is to pretty much keep your mouth shut. You do not want to tell the other 31 teams, unless you draft the first overall pick, which you got first dibs of the best player out of the draft, what you're going to do. So, in my opinion, I don't think we're moving on from Matt Ryan. It ain't just because of the contract. Because they said that it ain't just because of the contract. He's been playing great since he's been drafted, since 2008. The problem, and Arthur Blank said this, it's been the run game. We don't have a run game to complement Matt Ryan and the rest of this offense. You don't have a defense. Falcons been horrible in defense for years. And then the coaching has been atrocious, which hopefully we get it right with Arthur Smith. So I think Matt Ryan, I'm not going to sit up here and say he'll retire a Falcon. I hope he do. That's my homerish. But I feel like they're going to see what he can do under the new regime of Arthur Smith. Everybody keeps saying that, we picking forward. We may not never pick this high again in the draft. I'm like, y'all do realize teams always trade in the draft and trade capital away to get the first overall pick or the top 5 pick or whatever. There's other good quarterbacks coming out 2022, 2023. Like, this is not the end of the world. This is not the last year quarterbacks coming out of college. I've been saying this for I don't know how long.
So my take is a little different. I honestly think this is Matt Ryan's last good year, and the Falcons draft a quarterback next year. That's what I'm hoping for. I've seen Matt Ryan, not saying he's a bad quarterback, not saying that we need a different quarterback, but I've seen some throws that he should make, that he used to make, that he's not making. So I can see the down. It's not a quick downhill, but I can see where the arm might be going into Drew Brees range. So he has been hit a lot. That plays a factor. He's been hit a lot over his career, not having an O-line. So I'm more of a next year kind of guy. We draft a quarterback on that note. And plus, I love Sam Howell. I think he's going to be the next best quarterback ever.
Here's the thing with that though. I feel like everybody keep talking about his arm, but you got to think about this. In a Eric Colyell offense under Dirk Cutter, which he was horrible, Matt Ryan was throwing the ball on average 50 times a game. That's a lot for a player who's in their 30s. If you want to preserve your quarterback, get him a run game. Have a balanced play call. This is what they did with Drew Brees. Tom Brady, when he was up there in New England, now he's up down there in Tampa Bay with Leonard Fournette and those guys. He don't have to do that much. So, like I said, Matt Ryan has the accuracy. It's just the amount of plays. Like you throw the ball 50 times a game, your arm is going to wear down. That's physics. I mean, that's physics. So, what's your thoughts on that, Matt? Mark?
Just in terms of Matt Ryan?
Well, just what we just said. I don't know if you watch Falcons football or not. So,
I'm a red zone guy. So basically, I'm a Browns fan who lives a long ways away from Cleveland. So I just flip on the red zone, and that's what I chill out to all Sunday afternoon. So whatever's on the red zone is what I'm taking in. But so I'm seeing a lot less of the Falcons than I used to when they were good. I'm not watching the Falcons play too much, as opposed to a few years ago. I'm watching all the playoff games, but I kept seeing Matt Ryan make some less than questionable decisions and late in games, and I just didn't know if there was just too much put on him to try to win games, and like you say, throw it 50 times and have to score 40 points. That I think we've seen that from a lot of guys late in their careers. Brett Favre, his last year was ugly, and Matt Ryan's nowhere close to deteriorating to that level at this point. But and then to put together a bad offensive line with a guy that's not the most mobile guy in the world is just not the best combination either.
All right. That's a good take. All right, let's get back to Justin Fields, because this is what the show is about. NFL comparison, they said they compared him to Dak Prescott. Well, what's your take on that? Or do you have a different comparison?
Comparisons. Man, he just looks like more of a natural thrower to me than Dak Prescott. I got to admit, Dak Prescott's turned out to be a better NFL quarterback than I thought he was going to be.
That's because I think Garrett for that. Garrett did a good job with him. I'm not gonna lie on that. The Cowboy, he wasn't a good head coach, but he did a good job trying to develop him to a good quarterback. So
yeah, because when he first got the job from Romo, he pulled out some games. He looked good, but then that next season he fell off. But he came back and he's a good quarterback. But I really, they're big framed guys that with thick hips. When I think Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick, I think of Justin Fields. Well, Vick was certainly a solid dude. There's no question about that. And I'm talking physically in terms of their frame and being able to put up with a beating. Justin Fields has been nicked up quite a bit here in the last 10 or 12 games of his career. So at the end of 2019, he had a pretty bad knee injury that he played through. I'm not talking about a torn ACL or anything like that. He obviously was on the field, but had to play with a knee brace the last 4 or 5 games in 2019. And unfortunately, he couldn't play in that playoff game against Clemson at full strength. He had a knee brace on, and that took away the run game, and he was basically a pocket quarterback in that game. And then here we are a year later, and he took that shot against Clemson. I don't know if there's going to be any long-term effect there. I don't think so. But, he's been nicked up a little bit.
Yeah, my NFL comparison would be Carson Wentz. I think he's more of a Carson Wentz kind of guy. Mobile enough to get out the pocket, big enough to take some hits, and a pretty okay arm. So I think he's more of a Carson Wentz guy.
See, it's hard for me to compare him to quarterbacks right now. A quarterback that I can compare him to would be I'm just saying what I've said. Like I compare him to guys like Jameis Winston with a little bit better accuracy. All right. But I also seen some Donovan McNabb in him.
There you go.
Like that's what I seen. Like I'm like, because I had to look at some more tape on him, and I'm like, remind me of a guy who played for Syracuse Orange back in the mid '90s and played for the Eagles, you know. But hey, but like I said, McNabb fell into the right hands of Andy Reid, because if McNabb went to any other team, he probably would never lasted that long in the NFL.
I think that's a good comparison. They're both pretty thick body guys, and they're really mobile, but they're not at the Vic, Lamar Jackson, anywhere close to that. But you know, can threaten a defense, break, contain, pick up first downs, do all that. And I always found it hard watching Donovan McNabb throw the ball. Like, he was never a natural thrower. But he got the job done. You know, he was good. He was a top 5 to 6 quarterback in the NFL at his peak. And Justin Fields can do that, then he's going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, if there's Andy Reid out there, another Andy Reid out there that can, you know, he fall to, he could. But if a team draft him and they don't have a plan on developing him, that's what I'm afraid of. And people thinking I'm being negative about it. I'm not. It all depends on where you go. Coaching matters in this league. You don't have the proper coach to develop you, then you're not going to play well. Look at all the quarterbacks that has been drafted the past 10 years. Only a few pretty much not just made it, but, you know, stood the test of time. You had a lot of guys get drafted in the first round. It's just crazy. You know, Mark, you've been doing this for a while now.
Well, it was brought up here just a second ago, and I definitely think that's a great comparison between Wentz and Justin Fields as well, because now there's some questions as to whether Wentz is for real, whether he's going to be successful in this league because of not being necessarily coachable. And I'm not saying that about Justin Fields, but kind of relating that to maybe some issues reading defenses, making good decisions. You know, we've seen Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
And I know the talent around him has been changed out, and it isn't what it was when they were, you know, a Super Bowl caliber team. But still, he's looked really bad recently.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. In his first year at Ohio State, in 14 games, he completed 238 of his 354 attempts, and he had 3,273 yards, 41 touchdowns, and just 3 interceptions. He also added 484 yards and 10 touchdowns on the ground. Talk about his sophomore year.
So those 3 picks, he threw 2 against Clemson in the college football playoff. Again, I'm going to make another comparison that not to this extreme, but I had my issues with Matt Leinart coming out of college because I thought this guy's playing with NFL talent everywhere around him.
Exactly.
He's playing against a conference where they're overmatched completely. He is standing in the pocket, like surveying the field back and forth before he's got to make a decision. Now, it's not to that degree with Justin Fields. He plays in a better conference, better competition, and I don't know that Ohio State.
The Big Ten?
What's that?
The Big Ten?
Oh, we're going to start ripping on the Big Ten?
Man, look, I'm a Michigan fan, and I just don't see no competition in there. It's just Ohio State all day. Yeah, you got.
Oh, I got you.
Like Northwestern, you got teams like Northwestern and Penn State sometimes, but
sure,
ain't that good competition?
It's the second best conference in the country.
I'd probably say ACC. You know, the ACC, you got Clemson, you got
you got Clemson.
You got some other teams. You got North Carolina. They did well this year.
State. North Carolina State at that.
All right. Well, if you want to take a break from the NFL and look up some college football, check out scores between the ACC and the Big Ten the last 2 or 3 years.
Hey, look, man, I'm just saying, like, far as like, we ain't talking about matchups, we talking about just overall talent. Like,
so basically, yeah, Justin Fields, he threw 2 picks against Clemson in that championship game. So he only had the 1 pick all season in 13 games until they get to the not the championship game, but the college football playoff. The first one was similar to what I was just talking about with the Indiana play, that he didn't read, and in this one it was a shorter route, didn't read the linebacker Isaiah Simmons. Don't know if you guys are, you guys are familiar with him.
Yeah,
tremendous, sideline to sideline linebacker who just read him all the way and picked it off. Now that was a poor decision on Justin Fields' part. The last one was, I don't know if you guys remember this, it ended the game. Ohio State could have won the game. They were driving down the field down by, they lost this game by 5. And they get down to the 20-yard line. There's about 40 seconds left. And Justin Fields had a miscommunication with his receiver who broke off the route. Fields just laid it up. Safety it was a gift. Picked it off. So wherever you want to throw the blame, I credit Justin Fields for taking the blame in the post game. But most people thought the receiver made the wrong read. So he had an amazing season as what would have been his sophomore season. Like you say, 40-some touchdown passes and 3 picks. I think 41-3. And he had to play. He got knocked around against Wisconsin, hurt his knee, played in a knee brace the rest of the season. That totally compromised his running ability, and he gutted it out. I don't know if you guys caught him against Clemson this year in the playoff, and the shot that he took in the second quarter to the ribs.
Yeah,
and he gutted it out. I think he showed something there. And that's what you want out of your quarterback, is a guy that's going to, not be the, I don't even know if some of these stereotypes are true, but Jay Cutler type, that you don't know if he's going to be tough enough to hang in there and be the guy that's going to be, leading this team and going to play hurt and going to play banged up. But I think Justin Fields has at least shown that.
Oh, okay.
So I have a question for you. How do you think his arm talent will hold up in the NFL with bigger, faster linebackers and cornerbacks, and his ball placement and all those good things?
Yeah, the thing with his ball placement is I saw that as one of his weaknesses, but I think if you would track all of his throws, I think most of the time it's a strength, but when he misses, he's missed. It's it's something that every college quarterback has to adjust to, is that they're facing 3 or 4 defenders every week that are going to play in the NFL most of the time, something in that range, versus playing everybody that's not just that speed, but that intelligence to be in the right spot and know what's going on. The thing, if you listen to him talk, if you listen to him be interviewed, and this doesn't always translate in terms of intelligence in the world to intelligence as a football player. I think it translates most of the time, but sometimes, you got guys off the streets who, will flunk out all their courses, but man, they are smart football players. And then you'll see vice versa, Stanford graduates who on a football field, it doesn't translate. But I think most of the time it does, that a smart person's a smart person, but not all the time. But Justin Fields is a smart guy. Like, he's an intelligent individual. There's no doubt about that. So I think he's going to be coachable. I think he's going to be humble enough to learn from somebody. I don't think he's going to go into a situation, from everything I've heard out of him, that he's going to think that he's the man and he doesn't need to learn. I think he's going to be humble enough to be coachable.
Okay. And Justin Fields this past season started good, but it didn't end well. He started the season with his first 3 games completed 72 of 83 attempts, That's 86.7 for 908 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. His final 3 games, he completed just 47 of 81 attempts. That's 58% for 613 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions.
Well, you guys know what happened in college football, especially in the Big Ten this year with COVID. So I don't know how many times he even played 2 consecutive Saturdays. They only played 6 regular season. They only played 5 regular season games
in the Big Ten championship.
Then the Big Ten championship game. Yeah, 5 regular season games. They didn't start until the last day of October. They missed the Illinois game was canceled. The Michigan game was canceled. Another game was canceled. So they missed 3 out of 8 games. I just don't think he had the reps or the consistency week to week to put together much of a season. The 2 best defense he faced before the championship game, Northwestern and Clemson. Clemson a more talented defense, but Northwestern might have been a better defense than Clemson actually. And yeah, he really struggled against Northwestern. Now, the one concern I have in that Northwestern performance was Chris Olave, his best wide receiver, and not just the best wide receiver, kind of his go-to guy, didn't play in that game. And I think he relied way too much on Chris Olave during his time at Ohio State, and I think he was a bit lost without him. Yeah. And had a bad game against Northwestern, only completed like 45% of his passes in that game.
Yeah. And going back to that Clemson game, the Sugar Bowl, like a lot of people forget that Clemson, they also didn't have their play caller, the offense coordinator, Elliott, he was out. So that played a huge factor in Trevor Lawrence, and company not scoring points. So if Elliott would have been fine, the game could have went down the wire. Could have, but
yeah. There's not 3 touchdowns difference between those 2 teams. No.
So, but like just what everybody's saying in Atlanta, I'm gonna get to the fans in a minute. A lot of people saying that draft Fields at 4, let him sit behind Matt Ryan for a year or 2, or to Matt Ryan's contract right now, and then have him start. Now, drafting the quarterback, 4th overall, top 5, all right? The last time we seen a quarterback taken in the top 5 and sat an entire year was 2003, Carson Palmer.
Really?
Wow. Yes. Carson Palmer. All right, and that was by design because the quarterbacks coach they had there, I forgot his name. He wanted Carson Palmer to learn the playbook. And Carson Palmer he's a smart quarterback. Like I think he's like one of the best quarterbacks came out of the draft, but he just didn't have the talent. And Cincinnati just played around and then get the man a line. But that's another story for another day. But John Kentner was a good serviceable quarterback, and Cincinnati had a good defense. So they went 8-8 that year. So and the next year, Kentner stepped down and say, "Hey, it's your time." So what do you think the Falcons should do with that 4th overall pick? And just your honest opinion, man. Look, we're not trying to change your narrative. We're not trying to, sell the show. Just your honest opinion. Because I brought you on the show, man. We brought you on the show to get your honest opinion, your honest takes. Because I love I love your show. So,
well, you guys know how good your team is, or how bad your team is, and from just picking up a few things from both of you, it sounds like you got a couple playmakers on the outside. You don't have a running game. You got a bad offensive line and a bad defense. Wow. You need a lot of help in a lot of areas.
And we don't have no in the cap space right now. It's horrible. We the cap.
And that's not surprising for a team that's drafting 4th in the draft. That's almost all the time. But sometimes you'll see a team that'll just run into some bad luck and injuries, and they're really a lot better than, let's say, the 7th pick in the draft, and they get lucky and have one down year and they get a nice draft pick and they're really a lot better than that. But with the Falcons, I guess it's another story for another day, just to pick your brains about what happened after going to a Super Bowl only like 4 years ago. But anyway,
coaching.
Hey, can we be honest though? We should have got Dan Quinn his first year when he went 5-0 and then made the playoffs. That's when we should have really got rid of him.
Yeah, and look, Dan Quinn was never the. Here's the thing: I said Dan Quinn should have never been hired in the first place. They should have hired Rex Ryan, or they should have ended up hiring Todd Bowles. That would have been the right choice for the team. But they hired somebody who was never proven. Dan Quinn was never a proven guy. Yeah, and everywhere he went, the man has been under a defensive-minded head coach. Pete Carroll, defensive-minded head coach. Will Muschamp, defensive-minded head coach in Florida. Like, he never ran his own defense. Now people going to see, the Cowboys going to see what Dan Quinn's about when he go there in 2021. But go ahead, Mark. We sorry, man.
No, you're good. I like hearing all this. So, my thought is, and I really like Justin Fields, and I think he's going to be a good quarterback in the league. But, man, if you look around the NFL, how many times are there guys? It seems like there's just as many guys drafted in the second and third round who turn out as, like you guys both said, if you survey the last 20 years of the NFL draft and go through all the first-round quarterbacks, it's less than a 50-50 success rate.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think that Matt Ryan was – I knew that obviously he'd seen his better days and most of his career has passed him by, but I didn't think he was right at the end where there was a need to have somebody right today.
He's not, man. Look, don't buy into that narrative, man. Look, look, Dirk Cutter, I was sending you film on Dirk Cutter. All right, the man loves to just throw the ball. We did not run the ball at all. There was one game we ran the ball 12 times, and we got Todd Gurley on the team.
Yeah,
like he does not want to run the ball, and he with the plays he called these lone developing plays downfield with the line that's not developed yet. We just drafted Caleb McGarry and Chris Litzner a couple of years ago. We got Matt Hennessy just last year. He's going to end up being the center for the future. And then you got Jake Matthews, who plays iffy here and there. And our left guard pretty much was a turnstile.
Well, here's my answer for you, basically, is that if Matt Ryan can be a top 10 quarterback in the league for the next 2 to 3 years, then if there is a corner or an edge rusher who is worthy of the 4th pick in the draft, that should be your guy. And I should know who that guy is off the top of my head, but I would like to see a list of names before I would say.
Micah Parsons is one. Micah Parsons is a guy.
There you go.
Talk about edge rushers.
Yeah, Micah Parsons, Penn State. Yeah. Like if you can get a Chase Young, the next Chase Young at the 4th spot in the draft, or a shutdown corner, then that's the route I'm going.
Patrick Surtain is one. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. If we sitting at 4, if Penny Sewell is at 4, go on and take him.
Okay. Yeah.
I love Sewell.
Yeah, those are your difference maker positions for the most part. Corner, edge rusher, left tackle. Exactly.
So you pretty much saying don't draft Justin Fields and draft Justin Fields.
I'm saying don't draft Justin Fields, and that's not a knock on Justin Fields. That's an evaluation of the Falcons versus getting a premier player at like a corner or edge rusher or left tackle position that's going to help you right away. And then you're going to have 2 more drafts to say we might get a quarterback we really love, 80 picks into the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
you got Mac Jones. You got Brady Smith. I think you
don't like
Brady. I like Brady Smith.
I do not like Alabama quarterbacks.
I'm just saying he'd be a good pickup. You got Brady Smith from Memphis. I think he'd be good. That's a guy that can learn and absorb from a Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
So
Brady White. Yep.
Brady. I'm sorry. I say Brady Smith. Brady White. Yeah, you're right. Brady White. I'm saying the name wrong. But yeah, like that's another guy that we can try to pick up. But like you said, and here's my thing: you got Trevor Lawrence, you got Justin Fields, you got Trey Lance, you got Zach Wilson. Those are your big four quarterbacks. But when you look at Trevor Lawrence, he's NFL ready. He can start week 1 immediately down there in Jacksonville. Jacksonville decided to choose him first overall. Those other 3 guys, it's just they not. Here's Trevor Lawrence, and here are the other guys. They need time, and you don't know like the Jets. I don't trust the Jets. Well, yeah, they got LaFleur there. They got LaFleur. Yeah, they got LaFleur. So they got LaFleur, the other LaFleur. So I don't know. I just don't trust them with quarterbacks because they haven't had a good quarterback. I don't know how long.
Hey, Sam Darnold's a good quarterback. He is. Sam Darnold's a good quarterback.
Come on, man. Don't start that, man.
Sam Darnold is a good quarterback. It is the Jets who suck.
We gonna see this year though. If they allow Sam Darnold to play out his contract, his rookie deal, and they draft a quarterback, and then they just let Sam Darnold and the rookie battle out of camp, we gonna see. We gonna see
Sam Darnold on the Saints. I bet you the Saints make the playoffs.
Okay, like I'm not gonna disagree with that because look what Sean Payton did with a doggone special teams player. Like Taysom Hill is pretty much a glorified special teams player. He killed us both times.
I give you that. But Sam Darnold's he's not trash.
Okay. Well, I'm not calling the man trash. It's just this is what happens when you have poor coaching. But like I said, I just don't trust the Jets. And you got Denver, who also need a quarterback. It's so many teams that need quarterbacks. Like Falcons right now, I just don't see us getting. Now, here's my take, Mark. If we sitting at 4, this is what I love. Give it to a team who need it. Trade it to a team who need a quarterback. You get more draft capital. Because like we said, we have so many holes.
Yeah.
You might as well, finesse another team and get more picks and fill those holes. Because I want everybody to go look at that depth chart and y'all tell me what positions we need. I know Wallace, Tom Brady was a six round pick. That's the thing. Yep. You don't know, like there are diamonds in the rough. Look at what Russell Wilson was a 3rd round pick. Like Steve Young was in the supplemental draft, I believe. Like,
yeah.
So it's always, you always gonna find diamonds in the rough. This is why you should have a good GM and scouting department to scout the right way. So
yeah, teams will give up a lot for a quarterback. So like you say, maybe you trade down and look at what the Rams gave up to get Matthew Stafford. What they give up 2 first rounds and a second.
2 first rounds. Yeah, I think they gave up a second for this year's draft because they didn't have a first round anyway. But that's the Rams. They haven't drafted in the first round since 2016 when they picked Jared Goff. So they've been. But the thing is, for them to have this continuity and stay in a playoff contention year by year after year after year, that goes to tell you a lot by their scouting department. They don't need the first round pick. They say, look, as long as we can hit on those day 2 or day 3 draft picks, we'll be all right. And just trade and get the best player out there in the NFL. So, but let's go ahead and get to our mock. Go ahead. Yeah, let's get to the mock draft real quick.
All right. So before we do, I'll show my mock draft. For the sake of the show, this is why I drafted Justin Fields first round. Justin Fields show, you got to go first round. Y'all know me. If y'all been watching, I'm a Michael Parsons kind of guy. That's who I want first round. But just the sake of the show, Justin Fields, first round, second round, D-line. If we're going to draft a quarterback first round, then the rest of our picks need to be nothing but defense and maybe one other offensive player. Rounds 2 through 5, in my opinion. Christian Baymore out of Alabama for a defensive lineman, a nose tackle. Then when I went Pete Werner. Yeah, Pete Werner, Ohio State linebacker. Tyreek Thompson, safety out of San Diego State. And Trey Sermon for running back. I think he's going to be one of the best, one of those running backs that nobody's really looking for, but he just happens to fall to Atlanta, and he actually does something good. Patrick Johnson, another edge defender. Richard Wild Goose, cornerback. Chris Rumph, edge. And Termon Terry, messed his name all the way up. And then John Ball, offensive lineman. So that was my mock. Like I said, if we're going to go quarterback, we got to fill up these defensive holes immediately right after.
We need to fill them up regardless, in my opinion. But
yeah, that is true. But like
you
I
love
said,
the Buckeyes, huh? 3 out of 5.
Yeah, that is true. But Buckeyes players outside of quarterbacks are usually good. So it's just their quarterbacks for me. I haven't seen a good one in a while.
Nope.
There has never been a good Ohio State quarterback. Unless you talk about Kurt Herbstreit, and that's that we're not talking about announcing talents. We're talking about actually like NFL talent.
Yeah, 0.
So at least Michigan put up some quarterbacks. We done put out Jim Harbaugh. We done put out Tom Brady, Chad Henning. You know, anything possible. Okay,
we counting Chad Henne? We're not counting Chad Henne, are we?
Yeah, look. If it wasn't for him, they would have made it to the championship game.
Man, anybody could have ran 12 yards and then
come on, man. You gonna put respect on You gonna put respect on my Michigan, man. All right, let's go ahead and go to my mock real quick.
All right, there you go, Doc.
So here's my mock. I got on the trade down king. So I traded with Washington, and they gave me for our 4th pick. They gave me their 19th overall pick, their 51st overall pick, the 162nd overall pick, and then I also took their 1st round pick for next year's draft. I think that's good. And for the 19th pick, I picked Travis Etienne from Clemson. All right, 2nd round, I took Trevin Moreg, the safety out of TCU. And then I also got Jason Owa from the edge from Penn State. I think a lot of people sleeping on him. I think he'd be a good pass rusher in the league if he get to the right defensive staff. And y'all already know 3rd round, I love my boy Tyler Shelvin. Big, nasty nose tackle that the Falcons need to keep our linebackers clean, to allow Grady Jarrett to get one-on-ones, to get into the backfield and sack the quarterback. Paris Ford, I think he'd be a good safety in the league. You know, Adrian Ely, the offensive tackle for Oklahoma, got him in the which round? I think the 4th round. And I went to Kansas State, and I got Wyatt Herbert, another edge that's raw talent, green, but he has a high ceiling though. I got Coney Ding from linebacker from California. He played Mike there, but they said that he can also play outside linebacker, and he can also rush the passer if need to. Marco Wilson. I love Florida DBs. I think they can hit. They can also take the ball away as well. Teron Jackson, the edge out of Coastal Carolina. And I also picked up Amir Smith, Marset, the wide receiver for Iowa. I picked him because of his return skills. Because we need to get better in special teams. All right. I know everybody's like, why you get a wide receiver? Because of special teams. That's why. All right. And then I got Jack Stahl, a tight end for Nebraska. He could be I ain't gonna say George Kittle, but a lot of people said that this guy is good. You know, I looked at the tape. He does a lot of boxing out to make plays. It just he got to work on the blocking, which we got a good O-line coach, and you got a O-line head coach by trade. That shouldn't be an issue. So that's my mock. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you don't, I already know I'm gonna hear it from you. So All right.
And we got a donation. If Wilson is there, he's probably going to be there. Atlanta takes him. He's going to donate $100 to the FILA brand. We're going to take it, Don, ain't we?
Hold on. If Wilson's on the clock at 4 and there's no Atlanta going, so they saying if we pick Wilson, he gonna give us $100.
If he's on the clock, apparently that's what he's saying. He's going to be there. I don't know who would draft him.
Ain't up like
exactly.
The Jets. The Jets could probably take him. But that's the thing. Like, look, if you want to donate, man, go on to donate. That'd be great. We would enjoy it. I need me a background anyway, man. I need to pay some enhancements for the show. So I'll drop my cash app if you need to. All right. Wallace said, Rim, if you drop that quarterback, you could have gotten the top offensive lineman to help protect Ryan in the run game.
That is true, Wallace. But like I said, this was only for show purposes. I drafted Justin Fields for the show purposes only. I knew Don wouldn't do it.
Yeah, y'all already know. So I ain't from fall for that.
I did it for show purposes only. Y'all know I'm a Micah Parsons kind of guy. I've been yelling his name since the last game in the season. So that's who I think we need, and that's who I think we should get.
All right. Drew said I would pass. 70% of the QBs end up bust. Baker Mayfield was all talk. The tape's still out on Baker Mayfield. Mayfield had a good season this year. You know, Stefanowski did a great job with that offense. So I think Cleveland can end up winning the division, the AFC North easily next year. They just got to get better on defense. What? You really think the Steelers going to run away with it?
No, Ravens.
All right, let's see how their offense do.
It's the Ravens, brother.
I know I love Don Martindale and I love that defense, but the offense is holding that team back. That offense is holding them from being great.
Yeah, that is true. But at this point,
go ahead.
At this point, if they can't stop it by now, it's going to take a while to stop it. So as long as it's working, keep doing it, and it's been working. So
yeah. Robert White, he said, King, I don't love your draft, but 3 players. Dang, I get any hate. Don't nobody hate I think that everybody would hate mine.
You would think.
Man, I guess nobody want to get on my. I guess I don't want to get on nobody's bad side. I don't want to get on my bad side. I don't know. But hey, appreciate you, Mark, for coming on. Once again, let everybody know where they can find your information. And guys, please sub to his channel. If you love college football and you like takes of college football, he does live shows. Follow this man. Let's go sub to him.
I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate the invite. This was a whole lot of fun talking football. It always is. So appreciate you guys. You guys obviously have a ton of knowledge on the NFL. So if anybody's watching this because they trailed me over here, definitely give these guys a like and a follow and a sub right here on YouTube as well, because this was a fun discussion and they obviously know their stuff. So appreciate that. You can find me at Mark Rogers TV.
All right, thank you, Robert. Yeah, look, you got to. Even the owner of the Atlanta Falcons said the problem with the team is running back. So you got to get a running back. We got to get a running back somewhere in the draft. I don't care if it's 2nd round or 6th round. You got to we got to fit it in and get who we need.
And then running more than 12 times in a game.
What'd you say, Mark?
And then running more than 12 times a game.
Bingo. You run, yes. You have a more balanced game plan, you're going to end up putting points up on the board. The run game open up your playbook. People don't understand that, but it does. So, Wallace, I know you don't like the 19th pick, but hey, that was like the best situation when I was on trading because the Lions weren't giving me the Lions was, for some reason, you got Matt Stafford. Why y'all still trying to trade? And they weren't giving me that many picks. So that was the best scenario I can take out of it.
They got golf now.
Huh? Yeah, they got golf. Yeah, I forgot. They got golf. Yeah, Stafford and they got golf. He's done. Do you think a running back is going in the 1st round? I'm not. Look, that's what I chose. Because I know if I didn't choose a running back then I was gonna miss out on the next good running back was gonna be Javonte Williams, and I don't think he's he may end up going early in the second. And I already that's why I say I'll go ahead and get ETN. So that's why. But look, y'all already know Javonte Williams is my guy. I want him on this team. That man was running through people in North Carolina and didn't even have a line. So, all right, let's go ahead and end the show. If everybody who watching this at a later time, please hit us up in the comment section. Let us know your thoughts on Justin Fields. Do you think we should pick him at 4? Do you think no, we pick somebody else? Do we need to trade down? Let us know your thoughts. All right. Everybody who watched this show live tonight, appreciate y'all so much. We on our way to get this baby monetized. Hey, we couldn't do it without you guys. Thank y'all so much. If you're new to the channel, you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Also hit that like button. Share this content out with Atlanta Sports Fanatics. And hit us up in the comment section. As always, come holler at your hometown sports podcast. It's your boy The Dunn with my co-host King.
Yo, make sure y'all tune in to King's Round. We're gonna talk the Hawks. Yo, last time I looked, they was getting busted up on by the Utah Jazz, man. The Utah Jazz. Yes, the Utah. They're about to lose to the Jazz. 109-82, 2 minutes and 37 seconds left. So you know we're gonna have to talk about that, and it's not gonna be pretty. So love yourself, and I'll see y'all on King's Round.
And this has been Draft Prospects here on Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast. Y'all have a great evening. See you then.